sublimation training today. I am so excited to get started with you all. I hope you are ready to learn more about sublimation, especially for our friends here who are on the fence about should I start sublimating, should I not. I really hope that through the training today, we're going to answer and bust all of these myths that are surrounding sublimation so that you can truly feel confident in making the decision to jump into sublimation today. Hi everyone. Hi Karen, hi Jan, hi Luann, Davida. I'm so glad that you guys are here with us today because we are going to answer the question, is sublimation right for me? Now, if we have some people here who are already started their sublimation journey, I'm so glad to still welcome you guys in. I am so excited for today. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to answer the question, is sublimation right for me? Now, are you here because you've heard about sublimation within the crafting community, but you're not sure if it's right for you? If this is you, then you are definitely in the right place because today we're going to look at all of the myths that surround it and the steps that you need to take to make sure that you are set up for success. Now, before we jump into all of this though, I really want to make sure that you stick around to the end because we do have that way you can get access to our free Ultimate Sublimation Startup Supply List. Now this is a list that I have spent lots of time putting together for you all. It has all of our favorite sublimation blanks, brands, places to get supplies, all of that good stuff. And this is a live show up bonus. So if you're here with me, like I said, stick around to the end, or if you're watching the replay of this, make sure to turn on your live chat. That way you're not gonna miss this link at the end of our time together, okay? What will happen is it will show up in the chat if you're doing the replay, it'll show up on the live chat. So just make sure you stay until the end. And I hope you guys are so excited to get started because I am. If you are excited, I want you guys to drop me a yes in the comments. Yes, because I am ready to get started. So as you're dropping your yeses, there are a couple things that I want to kind of reiterate, some house cleaning rules. These are very, very simple things. I would love for you all to please silence your phones, close all of your open tabs, give me your full attention for this training. Listen, y'all, I know that your time is precious and so is mine. So because of this, I promise to make sure that you're gonna walk away with more knowledge about sublimation than you started with, okay? So another house cleaning thing, I'm gonna ask you guys to hold your questions until the very end because I'm going to open it up for a live Q&A and I'm going to try my best to leave no question unanswered. So just make sure you hold all of those questions. And the reason I say that is because I feel like a lot of the questions that we have are questions that can benefit the group. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page where I'll answer your questions in the live Q&A. Now there are gonna be some questions that I'm gonna be asking you throughout this training today. If I ask you a question, please answer, feel free to answer. But all of the other questions that you have surrounding sublimation, let's hold off until the end. So if you are new here, the first thing that I want to do is I want you all to get to know us and put some faces to names. So this is our amazing team here at Makers Gonna Learn. We're gonna start from left to right. So our in-house MGL team, on the left we have Sadie, our literal TikTok producer, photographer extraordinaire, singer, songwriter, amazing person. This is Sadie on the left. And then next to her, we have Alicia. You all have seen Alicia around the channel. She is literally the powerhouse crafter here in the studio. Absolutely love Alicia. And then, of course, in the middle, we have our fearless leader and founder here at Makers Gonna Learn, Tanner. This guy is the man with the plan if I've ever seen one. Now, to the right of Tanner is his beautiful wife, Courtney, who you all don't get to see her a lot on our channel, but Courtney is the brains behind the operation here. She is our creative director. She does a lot of behind the scenes things, and really this place would not be able to run without Courtney. And then last, of course, you have me, Lauren, teacher turned craft producer. I started my journey with Makers Gonna Learn almost 2 years ago by taking a huge leap of faith and leaving a steady, stable job to join up with the most amazing team I have ever had the pleasure of working with to help bring this amazing community of crafters inspiration, education, and motivation. We also have a group of outstanding team members that are not pictured here. They are our customer service team, our behind the scenes people. I want to give our virtual team a huge shout out because I was talking about our in-house people, but y'all, and I said that this company wouldn't run without Courtney, but our company really wouldn't run without our virtual team. So shout out to our customer service team and our virtual team. They are also the brains behind MGL, and we love them. We are obsessed with them. They really, really work hard for you guys. So let's go ahead. We're going to go back and let's go understand the ins and outs of how it works. So by the end of this training, we're going to be able to fully understand the fundamentals of how sublimation works, learn how to select and prepare designs for sublimation printing, gain knowledge about heat sources and pressing techniques, and of course, discover all of the creative ways that we can use sublimation. So, who is ready to learn the 3 biggest myths people have when it comes to holding them back from mastering sublimation? What I want you to do is drop a comment, drop yes in the comments if you're ready to learn the 3 biggest myths, because a lot of times I have discovered that we hold ourselves back from trying or learning new things because we don't fully understand it or we don't think we have the capacity to learn. I don't know about you guys, but I am so bad. If there is something new going on, I feel like I can't do that. I have too much on my plate. I don't have the bandwidth to really truly get into it and research and do all of these things. But that's what we're here for. So I'm going to tell you that you do have the capacity, especially with help from us. So I would love to break it down for you. Myth number 1, sublimation is not really permanent. Now, if any of these resonate with you, do a hand raise, drop me an emoji, let me know in the comments, because a lot of us here have probably been in the crafting world for quite some time now. And you've probably worked with both adhesive and heat transfer vinyl. While both of these materials are great materials to work with, y'all, they're so good, we love them here, we've all ran into issues of neither one of them having the lifetime that we've truly expected, right? So when someone comes along and tells me that there is some type of new crafting technique that is completely permanent, I personally am gonna be very skeptical about it. I don't know about you guys, but if somebody says, yeah, it's completely permanent, I'm like, I don't know that I trust it yet. I'll be completely honest, I didn't believe it at first, but we're gonna crush that myth today. So that's myth number 1. Myth number 2, you can only sublimate on white shirts. I'm gonna take a guess here, and I'm gonna say that the first time you probably ever heard or saw sublimation in person, it was more than likely on a white t-shirt. If that's you, let me pop off in the comments, because when I first heard about sublimation, I was like, oh, you can only do that on white shirts. Like, it's cool, but if I'm limited to that, I don't know about it. So, but let me tell you that that is not the case. And I truly cannot wait to show you guys all of the different things that you can sublimate on, okay? Now, myth number 3 is sublimation is too expensive for me. Now, because there are a lot of bigger purchases on the front end, Give me just a second, guys. Let me fix my mic because I definitely don't want to have mic issues today. That's better. Okay. Anyway, because there are a lot of big purchases at first, it's hard for people to wrap their head around it that it's, you know, maybe not super expensive. However, what if I told you you don't have to have the most expensive equipment or really any equipment at all to get started on your sublimation journey? What if I told you that you being here with me today is the actual first success? This is going to be the start of your successful sublimation journey, okay? Today, you being here, this is the start. So, I want to look at what Sherry says. Sherry says, y'all, I'm so excited. All of my sublimation equipment arrived yesterday and today. Here is my very first sublimation tumbler. Learning curve involved here. Next time I will increase the size and image, even up the seams a little bit better, but overall very proud. Now I can start working on items for my Etsy shop. Thank you, Tanner and MGL team, for Maker's Gonna Sublimate course. It's more than worth the cost. So Sherry here was able to get started with her sublimation journey before any of her equipment arrived. That in and of itself, the fact that her equipment arrived the same day she did this tumbler and she already knew exactly what to do, that right there is what I call a success. She was successfully able to complete this project the same day she got her stuff. Our other friend here says sublimation is very addicting, and y'all, we tend to agree with her. So, if you're ready to get started learning these 5 steps to sublimation success, I would love for you to get your notebooks out, focus in, drop me a ready in the comments. Y'all, I'm super excited to give you the 5 steps to sublimation success. We're going to talk about all of the materials that you're going to need. We're going to talk about everything to get you set up for success. And I can't wait. So ready in the comments to let me know you're ready. You've got your notebooks, you've got your pencils. We're ready to get started. Mary, Donnell, Kathy, everybody is so ready. Cassandra, Cheryl, Deborah, Lynn, we're ready. We're here and ready. We're taking notes. So let's go ahead and start learning our 5 steps. Step number 1. Step number 1 is determining the supplies that you need. In my opinion, this can be honestly the most overwhelming step. And the reason I say that is because I'm the type of person that if I want to start something, I feel like I have to purchase everything at one time. Y'all, just stay with me because you don't have to, I promise. I'm here to help walk you through the decision-making process so that we're gonna make it as easy and seamless as possible, okay? So, determining supplies you need. Let's start with the basics, okay? There are 5 things that you really need to get started. And the first thing is to have a what? A printer. Specifically, a sublimation printer. This can be either a printer that is designed for sublimation, but it doesn't have to be, okay? Just know it doesn't have to be one that is designed for sublimation. We love to take printers here at MGL and convert them into sublimation printers. It is honestly a pretty simple process and one that can be done with the proper instructions. The biggest difference that we have found between purchasing a sublimation ready printer versus a conversion printer is going to be the price point, honestly. With a printer that you plan on converting, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna see that they are cheaper. The only drawback is if you do convert these printers, you are going to void your factory warranty, so please be aware of that when you are purchasing, okay? So just know that you can convert these Epson Eco tanks. We actually suggest that you do convert an Epson Eco tank. The two printers that we have, the two main printers that we have are going to be converted Epson EcoTank printers that we use. We also have the Epson SureColor F170, which is a Sublimation designated printer. So we're going to help you decide and determine which one you need based on your budget and the price point you're at. If you are looking to get started sublimating fairly cheap, you might want to look into a smaller Epson EcoTank. Now, I know we're gonna have a lot of questions about printers, so please hold those until the end. And like I said, at the very end, I'm gonna drop a link, or I'm gonna drop a PDF that we have put together that has all of our favorite sublimation supplies, including links to printers for you guys. So make sure you stick around. Now, the next thing that you're gonna need is Sublimation Ink. The ink is honestly one of the most important components, because without this special dye ink, the sublimation is not achievable. I don't know if you all understand that, but the ink is very, very special for sublimation. What happens in this process is, and this is why the ink is so important, is because once you add heat and pressure to the ink turns into a gas and then adheres to the polymers or synthetic fibers in your blank. So that's why ink is so important. You do have to have special sublimation dye ink for this process to be achievable. And it is, once you choose a brand of ink, you need to marry that brand of ink, because not all ink is created equal. I have used all three of these types of inks that you see on the screen. And y'all, I love them all for different reasons. They're all very, very good inks. Honestly, you're not gonna go wrong with any of these. Now, the third thing that you're going to need is sublimation paper. This paper is specialized paper that allows you to get the best color payout when sublimating. There is one thing I would like to be transparent about though, okay? So, you all know us, we love transparency here at MGL. We have successfully sublimated on things with regular copy paper. So it is doable. You can do it with regular copy paper. However, I'm still stand by the fact that I truly believe that to achieve the best results, you still have to have sublimation paper. So what happens with sublimation paper is it's going to be able to hold a larger deposit of ink, meaning you're going to get a richer color payout in the end, okay? So that is why I highly suggest you all using sublimation paper, but like I said, if you're in a pinch and if you don't have any, you can use copy paper. Now, there are lots of different brands that you can use for both sublimation paper and ink, like I said a while ago, and it's okay to go back and forth between different brands of paper. It's not a problem to switch back and forth, especially depending on what is on sale. The reason that you can go back and forth, however, although we can go back and forth with paper, we cannot go back and forth with ink, like I said earlier, okay? So that's why I highly suggest picking an ink, staying with it. Now, the fourth thing that you're going to need is some type of heat source. There are so many different types of heat sources out there that you can use for sublimation. So what I want you to do at this very moment, what I want you to do at this very moment is take some time, start brainstorming, and ask yourself, what would you create the most if you were starting your sublimation journey? Now, this may sound silly, but I promise you there is a reason behind it. Would you want to create shirts, tumblers, license plates, mugs, whatever? I just want you to keep brainstorming, and I'm gonna circle back to heat sources and help you decide which heat source might be better for you later on in the training. So once again, I just want you to sit down with yourself, think about if you were to start sublimating today, what would you want to sublimate? Because like I said, there's lots of different heat sources and we're trying to get down to the brass tacks and really find which heat source would be best for you, okay? Finally, The last thing that you're going to need are what we like to call blanks that you're going to be sublimating on. The reason we call them blanks is, of course, yes, because they come completely blank, most of them white, with nothing on them. This could be shirts, mugs, tumblers, coasters, lanyards, literally whatever your heart desires. However, it can't just be any blank, okay? You can't just do any blank white something, because sublimation needs a synthetic material to adhere to, meaning that your textiles need to have at least 60% or higher polyester count, and other materials you sublimate on need to have some type of polymer coating on them as well. So the possibilities really are endless. Now, if you're ready for step number 2, this completes step number 1, knowing all of the supplies that we need. So if you're ready for step number 2, drop me an emoji in the comments. Let me know you're ready for step number 2, because this one is a biggie. So step number 2 in your successful sublimation journey is going to be choosing proper files for your designs. This is a really fun step where we get to let our creativity show, but it's super, super crucial to ensuring that we get the absolute best results possible, okay? So let's look at this slide as an example. You can see that the image on the left is extremely pixelated and grainy, while the picture on the right is crisp and clear. Now, I completely understand that this is an absolutely exaggerated comparison. I know, I put it on there. It is very exaggerated. However, even an image that has the tiniest bit of pixelation will not give you the best results when you're sublimating, okay? It's not gonna give you the best results. If you find that an image does not have the best quality, 9 times out of 10, when you press that image onto your blank, you're gonna see that the graininess of the image, it's going to show itself in, it's gonna look blurry, it's gonna be blown out, it's going to show that pixelation. So you always want to make sure that you have the best quality image possible. So you might be asking, but Lauren, where can I find those high quality images you're talking about? Most people are going to tell you, oh, you can just go to the internet and grab a screenshot. No, you can't, unfortunately, because a lot of times when we grab those screenshots, they are very pixelated. So there are a few different places that you can go, or routes that you can take to get these high quality images. The first and most used method, in my opinion, is going to be Etsy or other websites to purchase images from artists and creators. So this is a great way to find files. However, purchasing files over time, it's gonna start adding up. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot of money now, but trust me, over time, that is going to start adding up. You also need to be aware of the details of the files that you're purchasing from sellers if you're planning on making things to sell, okay? Some files that you purchase will come with a commercial license. Not sure if y'all knew that. Some will come with a commercial license, while others will just come with a personal use license. So you always need to read the descriptions of the files that you plan on purchasing. If I had to guess, all of these files that I have on here are probably going to be personal use because they are so cheap. A commercial use file is probably going to be $20+. So keep that in mind, please. Another option for custom files is going to be hiring an artist to create these files specifically for you based on what you want. The problem is, for most people, this is definitely not going to be cost effective. If you're hiring an artist, a digital artist to create these for you, digital artists are going to be quite in demand, number one, but it's also going to be pretty expensive if you do decide to go with a digital artist to create very personal files, unless you can create them yourself. So the last option is creating and drawing, which, you know, that was coming there. The last option is creating and drawing files yourself with either Adobe Illustrator or Procreate. Y'all, this is an absolutely amazing way to make sure that all of the files are exactly what you want. but I'm telling you, it can also lead to a lot of frustration and confusion, because this takes a very specific level of skills to not only know how to operate the applications that you'll be working in, but also requires some level of drawing ability as well, not to mention the time that it's going to take. Now, I don't know if any of you all have tried to mess around with Procreate or Adobe Illustrator, but even as a seasoned crafter myself, when I was in there trying to play around with both of these applications, it was confusing to the point that I ended up putting it down. So if you know how to do this, I applause to you, because you know more than I do. And if you do know how to do this, you can really create your own custom files. However, if you want to learn more, stick around, because I'm going to show you how you can get access to over 500 plus amazing Sublimation ready files that you are going to have commercial use license for, y'all. That in and of itself, the fact that and plus we continue to add. I actually just talked to Courtney earlier this week and I said, hey, I think it's time to add some more files, like just sublimation files just for our sublimation stuff. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're always adding new stuff. And this is just a very small look at some of the things that you're going to be getting. So after you have your equipment and choose your design, the third step in successful sublimation is going to be sizing and printing your design. Now, I feel like a lot of us really get hung up on this step, so let me break it down for you. In this step to sublimation success, the first thing that you need to do before you upload any of your designs is measure your blank. We have to measure our blank. You're going to measure each blank according to where you want to put your sublimation design. For example, if you want a full wrap tumbler, you're going to need to measure all the way around, which is going to be your length. So you're going to take that tape measure, you're going to start on one side, wrap it around your cup. That's going to be the length of your file. So, and then after you've done that, you're going to measure from top to bottom, which will then be your height. Or if you just want the image in a very specific spot, you just need to measure for that spot. Super easy. Once you have your blank measured, you're going to know the exact dimensions that you want your sublimation image. You will then upload your image into the design software that you are the most comfortable in. Now, let me ask you this. How many of us have felt intimidated to sublimate because you feel like you don't have the capacity to learn a new design software? But what if I offered to you that you don't even have to learn a new design software to be successful? You can use the knowledge you already have to get your first sublimation win under your belt. There are so many different softwares that you can use to print your sublimation designs from, such as Canva, Cricut, or Silhouette. Our personal favorite to use, of course, is going to be Canva when it comes to sublimation. Y'all know we talk about Canva here on our channel so often. It is a free software. It's internet-based. You can upload design and resize images in. However, I feel like most of us should be pretty Canva. We know what Canva is. We may not be a pro at Canva, but we can navigate Canva pretty well. But don't fear, if you still don't know how to navigate Canva, I highly suggest that you stick with the software that you know. That way, then you can learn the new software, or you can learn Canva or whatever as you get more confident in your sublimation journey. So if you know Cricut, y'all use Cricut. You don't have to use Canva for sublimation. It's easier to use Canva for sublimation, but you don't have to. I want you guys to stick with what you know. The last and most important thing, though, that you need to remember before printing your image, no matter what software you use, is to always mirror your design. Sublimation, you always have to mirror your design. There may be a few very small instances where we don't, but this is going to be very project specific. So I'm just going to say always go ahead and get used to mirroring your design. This is because you're gonna flip your paper upside down to press it back onto your blank. So we have to mirror to print and then flip the paper upside down. That way it is going to be right side after you press. So after you've resized and mirrored, you're ready to print. Printing your design though can seem like a daunting task, but friend, let me tell you, it's probably the easiest part of this whole process. Truly it is. Once your design is ready, all you have to do is send your image to your Sublimation printer. From this point, the most important thing to do is make sure you are printing on, quote, best quality. This can be found on a couple different places depending on what type of printer you're working with, but making sure that your print is at best quality is going to ensure that you have the most vibrant colors, okay, and sharpest images. Now that you've printed, or after you've printed, you may look at your print and think, Lauren, I've messed up, because your colors look dull and it's not what you're expecting. But friend, don't fear, because this is exactly what it is supposed to look like. Once heat and pressure is added to the print, those colors are going to come to life. Remember, Sublimation ink is a very special ink that requires heat and pressure to activate. So when you look at it before, after it comes out of your printer, you're gonna think, oh my gosh, this isn't right. This looks nothing like what was on my screen. Don't worry, because once you add heat and pressure, it's like it blooms like a flower. It's beautiful. I love it. Okay, now speaking of heat, let's go ahead and move on to the fourth step in successful sublimation, and that's choosing the best heat source for you and your project. Remember earlier when I said I wanted you to brainstorm? Now, this is where I want you to bring those ideas back, drop them in the comments for me, because we're going to talk about different heat sources and which ones are right for the projects that you want to create. Okay? So, drop me what you said you wanted to create. I want you those brainstorming ideas. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab a drink of water. I'm going to let you drop those brainstorming ideas in the comments because I want to see them. I get excited when you all are brainstorming what you want to create and showing me things. So let's go ahead, drop those ideas. I'm going to get a drink of water and then I'm going to read your comments. I'm so excited. Okay, Elena said, is this a course you have to buy or is this something I can watch because I'm an MGL member? Elena, stick around to the end and we're going to answer those questions. Plus we have that bonus at the end that you can definitely check out. So we have metal, neoprene, cups, tumblers, totes, bags, shirts, coasters. Wow, there's so many coming in. Hoodies, tumblers. Oh, I'm loving all of this. Phone pop-ups. Oh, Karen says phone pop-ups like a pop socket. Those are super cute. I love a good pop socket. I used to have a pop socket on my phone. Kept it on my phone. Did you know that they have Sublimation phone cases? Little tip. I would like to start with t-shirts and then mugs. See, all of these are gonna be great. I love these. Pillowcases with the sequins. Yes. Glass cutting boards. I love all of this stuff. These are all going to be great. I'm loving all of your comments. So let's go ahead. We're gonna say, let's go back to our screen because this one is going to rock your socks, I promise. I know that we all worry about making sure we get the best heat source for our journey, and that can add up. But what if I told you you don't even have to go out and buy anything? If you have this, use it. Y'all, there may be some of us here that already have some type of heat source, possibly even a Cricut Easy Press. What if I told you that you can use this to create your first project? You can. Now, is it our favorite? Once again, transparency here. It's not going to be our favorite for it, but When we first started sublimation, the easy press was all that we used, actually. It's totally possible to sublimate with it. You just have to hold it down for the pressure yourself where you don't on a clamshell heat press. Yes, you can use this for sublimation. I will say this, one big advantage of an easy press is that you may not have with other presses is that you can manipulate the easy press where you want it to go. And other heat presses are pretty stationary, so you just have to adjust your blank around. But the only other thing is you have to be very careful with not moving your heat press. Now, the Cricut easy presses are pretty heavy in and of themselves. So the pressure, sometimes you need to add a little bit more pressure, but if you add more pressure using an easy press, you just have to make sure you tape your blank, you tape your design down really well so it doesn't move around on your blank and you don't get ghosting. But yes, y'all, if you have this, use it, absolutely. Now, speaking of different heat presses, let's talk about the different types and what they can and cannot be used for, because this is where I feel like a lot of people get hung up on. So for heat presses, you have kind of three main types. You have a clamshell, which you see in the bottom left corner, the blue one, that's a clamshell. A swing away, which is in the bottom right, or an auto press, which is the one on top. On a clamshell heat press, the heat plate is raised up and down, much like the shell of a clam, hence why it has the name clamshell heat press. The swing away press works a lot like the clamshell, except the heat plate raises straight up and then swings to either the left or the right, okay? With both of these, you can adjust the pressure manually, and you can manually close them with the arm. Now, the third press is going to be your auto press. This type of press has a mechanism that automatically raises and lowers the heat plate itself. And all of these types of presses are great for sublimation projects that have a flat surface and can be sandwiched between two plates like shirts, hoodies, plates, tote bags, so much more. Mouse pads, lanyards, everything that you all have seen, socks, all of this, anything that can lay flat, you can use a heat press for, okay? Now, the other two types of heat sources that you're gonna see here are used for items that do not have a flat surface, like tumblers and mugs. So I know I had a lot of friends say, I wanna do t-shirts and tumblers. So this is where you're gonna get kind of held up with your heat source, because you can't sublimate a tumbler in a clamshell heat press, or any heat press to be exact. You have to have either a convection oven or a tumbler press, because it cannot be laid flat. So the first one that I want to talk about is the convection oven. We adore our convection oven for so many different reasons. Number one, it's a very budget-friendly option if you're wanting to create tumblers and mugs. The second reason we love the heat source is because you can put multiple tumblers or mugs in the oven and sublimate more than one at a time. The biggest downfall about this type of heat source is if you don't get the image really snug on your blank, there's a chance that you're gonna get some ghosting or like a fuzz effect from pressing, or from heating this up. So there are some steps where you do have to make sure your design is wrapped really well around your tumbler. It is adhered down. You have some type of pressure, because with sublimation, you have to have heat plus pressure, but it is definitely achievable in a convection oven still with a silicone wrap or with shrink wrap. So just know that it is definitely doable. We can add the pressure to that convection oven, and plus the convection oven is going to be a little bit cheaper as well. Finally, you do have the tumbler press. Now, we do have one of these and we do love it very, very much. However, I really feel like this is going to be specifically for those that plan on creating sublimation tumblers only to sell. And the reason that I say that is because this tumbler press is going to be a little bit of an investment for sure. but it gives you an extremely professional look on tumblers almost every single time. This is because the press hugs the design against your blank, allowing for little to no ghosting at all. Now, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret, okay? I use the tumbler press. You can put multiple mugs in the tumbler press at one time. You can do it much like the convection oven. Now, the convection oven could hold 3, 4, 5 at a time, but I did like the pressure that the tumbler press gave. So you can do more than one mug. You can do more than one glass can in there as well. So just keep that in mind. Now, I understand that this has also been a whole lot of information, but I want to make sure that you know and are aware that you do not have to go out and purchase everything that we've talked about today, okay? Like I said earlier, you can get started with sublimation right where you're at. You may not even have anything. You may not have a single thing, but you may know this is the year that I'm going to get started. This is the year I'm going to learn sublimation. This is the year I'm going to learn this new craft technique. And all you have to do being here today, like I said earlier, is you're started. You're getting there. You're learning. So let's go ahead and go back and we're going to talk about step number 5. So finally, the last step in ensuring that you become successful with sublimation is preparing and pressing your blank. Now, this seems like a step that may be a little bit irrelevant, but in truth, it's honestly just as important as the others. Now, before you press your design onto your blank, it is insanely important that you lint roll your blank. And I'm gonna say, do as I say, not as I do, because you may see me on the channel a lot forgetting, but the reason for this is to prevent foreign fibers from emitting a dye onto your blank once it's pressed. Y'all, I have ruined way too many blanks forgetting to lint roll than I have, it's crazy. So lint rolling is a big part of making sure that you get the perfect press every time. So once you've lint rolled, you're then gonna take your design, you're gonna place it on your blank where it belongs, adhere it down with either heat-resistant tape or sublimation adhesive spray. Both of these are gonna work great, and it's just a matter of your personal opinion on which one to use. But like I said, you're gonna have to have some type of adhesive to adhere your design onto your blank. So finally, and probably the very most important part is you're gonna need to place a piece of butcher's paper both on top and under your design. What this is gonna do is make sure that it absorbs any moisture that may be trapped in your blank, but it's also gonna catch any sublimation ink that may escape as well, preventing the ink from sticking to your heat plate and being transferred to your next project. So I was just talking to Holly earlier about this because she was learning. I was teaching her how to sublimate earlier today. She was like, do I need to do butcher's paper? Do I need to do this? Where do I need to do it? And I said, yes, absolutely. I was telling her, explaining the process of how to do it. And then after she pressed, she got a beautiful result. But she was like, oh, yeah, I see where it transferred onto the butcher's paper, so that is a very important step. Now, but the one thing that I want to make sure you guys know and understand is that practice makes perfect. If you follow these tried and true steps, you're going to be successful, but it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. But if you stick around with us, it's going to be pretty darn close, okay? So make sure you stick around. Here you can see some of the amazing things that we were able to create with sublimation, and this truly just scratches the surface. So now that you've gotten a glimpse of what you can create and accomplish, let's take a look back on the myths surrounding sublimation and why they are holding you back. So myth number 1 is sublimation can't be permanent. Y'all, this myth, crushed, gone. We learned that through the process of sublimation, the sublimation ink is a permanent solution, which in turn makes it an insanely sellable option when it comes to crafting. I mean, it's one of those things, it's not gonna go anywhere. Once it's pressed, it's pressed. It's there, it's done. So myth number 1, crushed. Myth number 2, you can only sublimate on white shirts. If you've been around our channel, you know that myth is also crushed. There are really so many different things that you can sublimate on. While it is true, now, this is something that I want you to listen to, okay? It is true that sublimation does not have white ink. And it has the most vibrant colors when it's pressed on a white surface. That does not mean that white shirts are the only thing that you can sublimate on, okay? So, like I said earlier, you all gave me some options: tote bags, tumblers, lanyards, coasters, license plates. Did you know you could sublimate on wood? Wood, metal. Oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. Canvases. You can add laminate sheets to notebooks and sublimate on the front of notebooks. Y'all, there are so many things that you can do with sublimation that I don't want you to feel like you have to be put in a box and that white shirts are the only thing you can do. Possibilities truly are endless. So let's go back and let's look at myth number 3. So myth number 3 is sublimation is too expensive for me. Like I said, it is going to be a little bit of an investment on the front end. In all reality, sublimation does not have to be it does not have nearly as many maintenance costs as you think. You're not having to constantly purchase new colors of vinyl, new mats, or anything like that. Plus, there's a good chance that you probably already have some of the materials that you need, okay? So, that one is also crushed. And plus, you can get started. You're getting started on your sublimation journey right now, already learning all of the things, not paying a dime. So, here are some, I just want to read these because I think these are great. I was clueless when I got my Cricut and found you all on YouTube, and I've been rocking with y'all ever since. Sublimation, making stickers, so grateful for this channel. Honestly, grateful for you too, Jerniqua. Kim says, sublimation is definitely an easy process. It's the setup and calibration that can be tricky if you don't have a little help. Luckily, I had Makers Gonna Learn to guide me. After a week of procrastination due to fear, I purchased some test materials and hit the ground running. Thank you, MGL, for helping me to find the answer to every question I had surrounding sublimation in your course and YouTube videos. I present to you the evolution of sublimation. You all can see in these pictures, at first she was getting some ghosting, it's something with her heat source wasn't heated all the way across, but y'all look at those other ones, how good they are. Look how good they are. Gabrielle, please hold, if you keep that is a great question. I would love to answer that question. Keep that question till the end and I'll answer it so that we can answer it together because I love that question. Also, these are some really, really good questions, y'all. We're gonna have an open Q&A, so let's hold those super good questions so that I can address everybody at one time. I'm so excited to address those questions. So, would you like for me to help you master sublimation without any confusion, overwhelm, or costly mistakes? I want to know, would you? Because, as I see it, you have two options. Option number 1 is figure this out on your own and end up frustrated and exhausted, okay? Option number 2, follow a tried and tested path from stressful to successful. Now, which one would you rather have? Do it by yourself and probably end up so frustrated that you're like, nope, not doing it, don't have the bandwidth, can't do this. Or just let us do it for you. I hope you chose option number 2 because I'd like to invite you to join me with Makers Gonna Sublimate because y'all, this is it. It is a tried and tried and tested course that walks you through the process of everything you need to know about sublimation from start to finish. From getting your printer out of the box to setting it up, all the way through to becoming a Sublimation Pro. What you're gonna get with this course is 19 plus and constantly adding video tutorials, instant access to Maker's Gonna Sublimate ebook, as well as instant access to 500 plus and adding more all the time, Sublimation Files. But y'all, that's not it. If you jump in on Maker's Gonna Sublimate today, you're gonna get lifetime access. Let me say that again, lifetime access. It's never gonna go away. One fee, lifetime access to all of our additions and anything new that we add. So when we update the course, it's not an if, it's a when, because we've updated this course 4 times since I've been here already. We will be updating it more. We're definitely gonna be adding new materials and files, so make sure you're gonna get all of this. Plus, everyone that's here today, no matter if you decide to purchase the course or not, you're gonna get access to our unlimited Sublimation startup supply list. However, after 24 hours, we're gonna take this link down and put it in the Sublimation course as a resource. We do this every so often where we will release this and then you all get it for 24 hours, take it back. So Sadie's gonna drop that, she's for you, the link to this Sublimation startup supply list. So make sure you click that link, grab that supply list. This is gonna be your all's free little gift for sticking around with me. Thank you so, so much. So here you can see a list of all of the trainings that you're gonna have access to if you sign up today. I mean, look at this. All of this, instant access. One thing that I get asked quite frequently is, if I don't have any of my supplies for sublimation, should I sign up? I'm confused. My answer to that is absolutely. I don't know about you guys, but one thing that I'm terrible at is, and I said this earlier, is when I'm going to get started doing something new, diving head first into it and buying an absolute ridiculous amount of stuff, thinking that I'm gonna need it, when in reality, I just don't. I really just don't. So with the Sublimation course, we're gonna take that guesswork out of it, and honestly, if nothing else, save you money and not purchasing everything that you don't really need. So we're gonna tell you exactly what you need and exactly what you don't need. But y'all, don't just take our word for it. Look here, David says, finish my Maker's Gonna Sublimate, and here are some of my first projects. Y'all, first projects, look at that. That's a first project. Those are truly advanced level projects, if you ask me. I think they turned out pretty good. Great course. Thank you to the whole MGL crew and everyone here. I have learned a lot from posts in the group. I love it. Thank you, Tanner and Maker's Gonna Sublimate. I use my own files, love the file, made a garden flag in Inkscape. I had to go back and forth between Inkscape and Tanner until I got it finished. So you all can see, you don't have to take our word for it. Claudia, look at Claudia's cute shirt. I know that's an MGL file. Look how cute that is. And the reason I know that's an MGL file is because I have one of those shirts too. One of my favorite designs from the Maker's Gonna Sublimate course. I'm impressed with myself. Claudia, we're impressed with you too. Morgan says, OMG, yes, I can sublimate, but taking it to the next level with the Sublimation course with Tanner. So Morgan already knew how to sublimate to begin with, but she decided to take it even a step further and go ahead and get the course as well. Beyond excited because I have seen other sub courses offered, but seriously love this teaching style and YouTube videos. I mean, you don't have to take our word for it. So our goal with Maker's Gonna Sublimate is to take the guesswork out of sublimation so that you can get right to making beautiful projects. When I tell you that when we were putting this course together, that we went through hundreds of dollars in blanks, I'm truly not exaggerating. I kid you not, I think we went through 30 cups, 30 mugs by themselves. I couldn't tell you how many blanks that I went through when I was trying to figure out all of the color profiles to put in our course for you guys. If I had to guess, we spent every bit of $300 to $400 in blanks that we ruined, absolutely ruined. So the regular price of this course, once you add everything up that we've offered, it's almost $400, but y'all, that's an insane price. I'm sorry, I wouldn't pay $400 for it, but it is worth every penny. But y'all know us, and you know we love a good deal here at MGL. So today, you're gonna get it for $127. That is the lowest price that we have offered this course in a while. You do need to use code Sublimate to get this price. So when I tell you I'm getting in on this price is a must, y'all, I mean it. You're getting $40 off. So regular price is $397. We did up the price of the course to $167, but for 2 days only, we decided to bring it back down to $127 and give it to you today. You can jump in on this price today. You're gonna get unlimited lifetime access, meaning you're gonna get free access to all of the updates. Any kind of update that we have, you're gonna get access to. And I promise you we will be updating the Sublimation course. It's just a matter of time. It may be later on or the beginning of the year, but there will be an update coming at some point. So if you're ready to jump in, click that link that Sadie dropped for you guys and get started on your sublimation journey today. So one thing that I want to make sure you all know is that you don't even have to pay in full. Don't know if y'all knew that, but you do not even have to pay in full today. That's right. You can get started. You can split this into 2 payments, only paying $63.50 today, and then $63.50 30 days from now. I mean, you can get started almost $50. You can get started with your sublimation journey today. Crazy. Now, this is going to be limited time. Here's what you're going to do. Click the link, either pick 1 pay, 2 pay, and then it's going to take you to this checkout page. Now, I don't have arrows pointed to the coupon code, but make sure you utilize the coupon code Sublimate for 2 days only. On top of that, you're also going to get some other bonuses that we'll talk about here in a minute, okay? So this is going to be your only chance to grab this at $127 for the next 2 days. So hurry and get in now before the price, because this says price increase. Y'all, it's already increased. We're just doing a 2-day sale, $127. Don't you love it? So once again, this is going to be your course overview, what you can get with everything with the Sublimation course. Donna's so funny. Donna says, I want to buy it again because the price is so low. Yeah, what do you know? So now I am ready to answer all of your questions. This is a great time. Now, all of those questions that you all had earlier, please drop them in the chats for me. That way I can answer your questions. This is going to be our open Q&A time. So I do know one person asked, and we'll go ahead and get started with their question. They asked, can you sublimate on black? So that is a great question. You technically can't sublimate straight to black, but there are workarounds. So Sublimation HTV, glitter HTV, it just depends on what type of surface that you are sublimating on. But unfortunately, sublimation does not have white ink, so it can't have a white it has to have a white background for the colors to show through. Otherwise, on black, those colors just aren't going to show. So we do walk you through how you can sublimate on darker surfaces using different materials and how to do that in the Sublimation course. So, Sophia, hi, welcome. Are MGL images editable? Yes, if you want to manipulate our images, please, we love seeing you manipulate our images, especially in the Sublimation course. We give you lots of patterns and swatches and things like that. That way you can like slice a, let's say if you wanted to slice a paint swatch out of a cheetah print. That would be beautiful for a sublimation design. Yes, please edit, manipulate, all of this stuff. This is not a live course. So the Maker's Gonna Sublimate course is a go at your own pace course. This is one that you get lifetime access to. You do it in your own time. You do it at the pace that you are comfortable with, and you can always go back and revert back to all of those tutorials at any time. Do you show us how to use Canva for sublimation as well? We do. In the course, we do have a brief overview on how you can use Canva for sublimation. And we will probably be adding a lot more Canva stuff to our sublimation course very, very soon. We have a lot in there. We use both Canva, Inkscape, and Cricut in the course, so we kind of go back and forth between the three. We don't use Inkscape as much, but Tanner does teach you how to use it. So, love those questions. Yes, Daisy, you can rewatch this video from the beginning. Cricut Craze, what blanks come with the course? I might have missed that. I'm so glad that you asked that. We do have sublimation blanks if you purchase today for these 2 days. Not only are you going to get it at $127, number one. Number two, we're sending you sublimation blanks, plus we're going to throw in a couple little mystery supplies in there for you as well. So, we'll show you, we're going to send you some sublimation blanks to play around with so that you don't have to like go out and buy. You can practice on what we send you. Lindsay asked, does the course help with setting up and converting printers? You know, we will very much teach you how to set up and convert a printer. 100%. 100%. We teach you how to convert an EcoTank. We do convert an ET8550, which is a large format. We convert a smaller EcoTank. We talk about Sawgrass. We talk about Epson SureColors. Lots of different printers that we do talk about. Can I use my own photos? Absolutely. Sublimation is actually made. It is a craft that is made for you to use your own photos because you get such good results. You are printing PNG or JPEG images and pressing them. You're not having to cut it. It's truly made for like using your own photos. Are there fumes when you press? That is also a really good question. So we do encourage all of our people, all of our friends who sublimate to do it in a more well-ventilated area because you can start getting some fumes. It does let off very light, faint fumes. It does not bother me at all. However, I don't have upper respiratory issues. I do know that some people are a little bit more sensitive. So if you are a little bit more sensitive, I would suggest just doing it or opening a window when you press. If it's in an enclosed area, opening a window, doing it in an area that may be a little more ventilated or have some more room. You just don't want it in a very closed up area, okay? Yes, so we do occasional promotions where we send out blanks every now and then. So this is a promotion where we are sending out a few little blanks. I keep getting indentations from my press that don't come out of my shirt. Jamie, I love that question. Have you tried tearing or ripping your edges instead of cutting them with the scissors? We have found that when you tear or rip the edges of your design, it kind of feathers out and doesn't give you those harsh lines when you go to press. You may also want to lower the pressure on your heat press just a tad. Try it out, see if that works. I would start by tearing the edges of my design and then lower the pressure just a smidgen, just a smidgen. Karen says, I run a fan right behind my heat press to help with fumes. I love that idea. That is a great idea. Shannon, now I know I got blanks in the mail. That's why, because we were sending them out at that time. I love it. When does this deal end? Did you say 2 days? Yes, so the deal is for today and tomorrow. We're only doing a quick 2-day sale. Now, I don't think that it's going to be extended because we have lots of other good stuff coming up next week. So It's probably just going to be a 2-day sale, so make sure you jump in while you can. I've made several puzzles and end up with bleeding in the grooves. I could see where that would happen. Hopefully it's not bled so much that it's ruined your puzzle. I personally have only done like 1 or 2 puzzles myself and didn't have an issue, so I wish I could answer your question better or give you better suggestions, but Renee, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure because I never did get the bleeding. So my pink color presses more red than pink. Any ideas? Cassandra, I'm also glad that you asked. So if you didn't know, there are ways that you can set up color profiles, and we teach you how to do that in the Sublimation course. So depending on what type of ink you use and what type of printer you have, you might have to bump that red or bump the magenta down just a little bit, just so your pinks don't come out so red. Or there are lots of things that can go into that if you want to. Yeah, you said, so, okay. I'm trying to get to all your questions. You say sublimation paper, is that to print on or wrap your blank? So sublimation paper is what you print on. And y'all, definitely come back tomorrow. We're gonna have all of the sublimation supplies on the counter here tomorrow when we do our live. I'm going to show you everything that you need. We're gonna walk through the process. It's gonna be a very laid back, very personal live tomorrow where we're gonna talk about it. We may even press a few things. We'll do some crafts together, but we're gonna talk all things sublimation and show you all of these different things. Can you sublimate on wood? Actually, you can. There is a special process that you can. Some people say you can sublimate straight to wood. It's gonna be very faint. If I'm gonna sublimate on wood, my personal favorite is adding a laminate sheet on top just to make sure that I get that vibrant color payout that I'm wanting. But yes, you can sublimate on wood with a few little tweaks. Elizabeth, trying to order will not take the coupon code. Are you using code Sublimate or Sublimation? So make sure you use code Sublimate. If it doesn't take the code, please email customer service hi@makersgonnalearn.com and we will get you set up with this, no problem. If for some reason it's not working for you, please make sure you email customer service so that we can get you taken care of. Let's see, is sublimation good for me when I know I won't sublimate every week? Just craft for fun. Miss P, I love that question because I don't know about you, we don't sublimate every week here. Now, I do suggest if you want to, or I do suggest actually, printing at least once a week if it's just a purge page. That way your sublimation printer doesn't get clogged up because they are prone to clogging a little bit more than a regular printer. So I do suggest, it's still great for the hobby crafter. You don't have to sublimate every week for it to still work beautifully. We do not sublimate every week actually. We did not sublimate probably for 2 months at one point. And I think I had to run a purge page through our printer one time and then it was back on the top, like nothing ever happened. So I do suggest that you print once a week, but you don't have to. You can go longer. We go longer. The laminating sheets work great. Yes, they do. I love them. Sublimation tape recommendation. So any kind of heat tape that you would use for any other projects, Amazon, if you click on the Sublimation Startup Supply list that is pinned at the top, it's gonna give you a list of everything that you need to get started with sublimation and our favorites. So make sure you get that freebie at the top, make sure you click it and download that because we're gonna pull it down out of the live chats after these 2 days. So make sure you grab that freebie there. Code all caps, yes, try code all caps. Sublimate code all capital letters, okay? Mm-mm. Yeah. Was there exclamation points on it? And this, Oh, sorry if there was an exclamation point at the end. I think that was just, I put that there to end my sentence. It's just the word sublimate, no exclamation point, all caps. Beautiful. Sherry says, I run a printer check once a week, and if it's missing lines, I purge. That's an amazing suggestion. I love that. I have a habit of running a purge print every Monday morning, so I avoid clogs. Jenna, Amy, honestly, get on a schedule. Get on a schedule, run a print page every Monday morning, just to make sure you don't get the clogs. Debbie, yes, I absolutely love the stained glass effect with sublimation. I don't know about you guys. I will definitely pull that out for tomorrow's live. We might even do one again. Who knows? Who knows? Because that project turned out so beautiful. Where can you get sublimation sheets? Now, Tammy, I'm not really sure what you mean by sublimation sheets. I don't know if you all are aware, but let me let you in on a little secret. Did you know that infusible ink sheets, it's just pre-printed sublimation? That's all it is. It's pre-printed sublimation. So you can, that is something, those infusible ink sheets, like I said, pre-printed sublimation. You use your Cricut, you cut out your design, whatever. You don't have to though. But imagine, I want you to just think how long those have been, how long ago was that infusible ink printed before it got to the shelf, before it got to your house, before you purchased it. So it's been sitting there a while. So it may not be they're still really good quality, but that's all it is. It's just sublimation. Can you use your printer for both sublimation and as a printer? I'm so glad you asked that. Unfortunately, you can't. So if you convert a sublimation printer, it has to stay a sublimation printer. If you already have an inkjet printer, first of all, cartridge inkjet printers are so hard to convert. Actually, we've done one. We did a workforce printer way back when, converted one. 0 out of 10 do not recommend. 0 out of 10. For me, it's an eco tanker bust as far as conversion printers, but you cannot switch back and forth because the ink that you put in a regular inkjet printer is completely different than sublimation ink because, like I said earlier in our training, it's a process that the ink has to go through. It prints on the paper, you heat it up, and then with heat and pressure, it turns into a gas. Inkjet printer ink is not going to turn into a gas. It's just made to sit on paper and that's it. So you can't go back and forth. It's going to change the chemical makeup of the inks if you try. You have to completely purge the ink out to where there's 0 ink in the tank or in the print heads. So it's kind of hard, even if you have an inkjet printer and you want to convert it, it's kind of hard to do it. And honestly, at that point, I just suggest purchasing a new printer. So no, you can't unfortunately go back and forth between inkjet and sublimation. What's a pre-printed infusible ink sheet? I was just saying infusible ink, the sheets that you purchase from the Cricut brand infusible inks, all that is sublimation. It's just sublimation. So, did we have any more? Oh, I was told to use laser paper for infused ink. What would that be good for sublimation? I've never tried laser paper for sublimation. I mean, I'm all for trying, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, great. Like I said earlier, I have used copy paper. We have used copy paper and successfully sublimated. Did it come out as vibrant? No. Does it work in a pinch? Absolutely. So I'm sure laser paper would probably work fine. I just don't know that it would. I don't know. If you try it out, let me know. My colors on my Epson printers that I've converted never have the right colors. That's why I've been checking out the sublimation printers, but they are expensive. Yes, they are expensive, and I was having those issues as well, especially with the Epson ET8550. My colors were terrible, terrible. Elena, I know you said you just purchased the course, which congratulations, by the way. I did not miss that comment. I just want you to go look at the color profiles and look at all of the blanks that I have sitting on the table. It's ridiculous how many times. I was so frustrated by the end. It was, thank goodness, I finally figured it out and got the color profiles right. So hopefully that helps you. So just to confirm, can we convert inkjet printers to Sublimation? Yes, you can. We do, we have, and we will in the future. Especially Epson EcoTank. The EcoTank printers are so easy. If you purchase a new one, y'all, all conversion is putting in Sublimation ink and then changing your color profiles. And we walk you through the process hand in hand from start to finish through our course. You can use laser paper with infusible ink pens to sublimate. If that's the case, then I'm sure laser paper with sublimation should be fine. Maybe that's something we might need to try in the future. Maybe do a tutorial on it. Who knows? Lorraine says profiles. I'm sure you're wondering what I mean by color profiles. So what you have to do with sublimation, if you have a converted inkjet printer, sometimes the colors aren't quite right when we go to print. So we teach you how to download a print driver, an advanced print driver, and then go in there and manually manipulate the saturation, the contrast, the cyan, the magenta, the yellow, the black, all of that stuff we teach you in the course. The free Sublimation Startup Supply List site isn't working. Let me check on that here in a little bit. I am not sure it was working for me before we started, so I'm not really sure why it's not. Sadie, did you check it? It's working for you? Beautiful. Donna says, I must tell you, she goes over getting your colors set better during the Sublimation course. It was a lifesaver for getting those colors. I'm telling you, it is. It's hard to get those colors dialed in, especially on some conversion printers. But yes, we have tried and tried and tried, and we give you those color profiles in there. If I purchase the course, will I still get the swag bag even if I'm in the UK? You know what? Yeah, we'll do that for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to make sure we're all ready for sublimation. Oh, I'm sorry, Lorraine. I didn't know that you were answering someone else's question, but thank you. Okay, Mary says it worked. Yes, beautiful. Okay, guys, I've had such a good time. If you all have any other questions, make sure to drop them. We're fixing to wrap up here, but if you, for some reason, don't get your question answered, we have added another live for tomorrow. We normally don't go live on Thursdays, but we have added another live for tomorrow. So make sure you come back here. We're going to have all of the supplies on the table. We're going to talk about all of the supplies, and we're going to sublimate some. Why not? We're going to answer your questions. It's going to be very laid back. Who knows? Me and Alicia may be sitting here together. It's going to be very laid back, very informative, very fun. So make sure you come back here tomorrow at 1:30. Guys, thank you so much for showing up and showing out like you always do. I'm telling you, I always get, when we do these types of trainings, I'll just be real honest, I always kind of get, a little bit of the nervies before we get started, but I'm telling you, I don't know why I do at this point, because we always have the best people show up. I'm so thankful for you guys. You all are the best. Thank you so much for being here, being present, and learning together. Yes, same time tomorrow. We'll see you guys back here on the channel, 1:30 Eastern Standard Time.